Good morning and welcome to Masters of Marketing. Today we're going to go over how we as a startup are selling a $100 a month product into B2B companies. We're going to go over what our exact marketing strategy is, what our product is, so that you can learn from us as we test our hypotheses, as we try different audiences, and as we get it out there. All throughout my early career and college, people would always say you shouldn't go into the details because someone will steal your idea. I say that is bollocks in this presentation. We're going to go over the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if you want to steal our idea, go for it. Steal our campaigns. We're doing them because we think they're going to work and they're the best. If you can steal our product, good luck. We've been developing the backbone and structure of it for years. So we've got you on a head start. And that's why we're going to tell you everything that we know how to do. So to start off, I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to go over what exactly our product is. So just let me share that. The product, can you see my screen, Brian?
Good to go.
Cool. So the product that we're selling is job change data. And the reason we're selling it is because we've had lots of companies come to us over the last couple of years and ask for this data. I think it's ask for this data. And then on top of that, during this time, a lot more people have been asking for it, probably for the reason because of COVID. And just to go into that, a lot of companies go out, they go to conferences, they hold events in order to create an event or a reason to reach out to people in their industry so that they can sell them a product, build a relationship, say, hey, I'll see you there in person, I'll shake your hand, we'll bond over something. Because of COVID, there haven't been events or conferences, and you have them online, but you don't have them as often or as quickly. So people are trying to do job change campaigns because it's a high intent reason that you can reach out to someone and congratulate someone. Along those same lines, you've seen a lot of pullback on marketing in the last few months, but you've seen a lot of marketing or effort being dumped into customer success because people aren't building new relationships, but they're building better relationships with their clients they already have. And tracking job change data into companies that you're already familiar with and that you already have inroads in helps you with a land and expand model. So those are kind of two of the reasons that we think this is taking off right now.
I got some more reasons too. It's kind of the nature of the beast of the product. Over time, over the last 5 years, I've worked with like a lot of different companies, getting them their entire addressable market, getting them all their potential clients, going in for either like a 1-month contract or a 6-month contract, depending, and finding the individuals that they need. With the target companies, the target firmographics, the target demographics, building an entire list, feeding them their entire addressable market, and then we're no longer needed. What I mean by this is once you have your entire addressable market, the value of continually trying to squeeze the juice of the data becomes less and less valuable. So let's say you had a multi-$1,000 contract and, just by our numbers, I'll just give them in bulk. If you wanted your total addressable market and that was 100,000 people, we would charge you $10,000. We would charge you probably 3,333 over 3 months and find all 100,000 for you. By the time you got through 3 months, we would no longer have a continuous stream of revenue. So for us to like continue to have the business going, we need to continuously provide value and not have it like a product, but or selling a service where it's like a one-time sale and then no recurring revenue. It's really difficult for us to do a one-time sale and then get new customers and then go through the marketing. Sometimes it's a 3-week sales cycle. Sometimes it's a 3-month sales cycle. You sell the 10K, you service the 10K, it's gone. We need to, I think where there's a more valuable for us and more valuable for our customers is moving from this kind of static data model to continuous signals, right? So the way we don't want to sell data, we want to sell signals. Signals you can react on, just like Google gives you intent signals right in the search engine. As you go in, it's like the highest intent possible on a consumer. A job change is probably the highest intent signal that you can give on the B2B side or the B2B space because people want to make impact.
Right. Signals, not data, and then predictable revenue. If you read predictable revenue, you soon realize that even though you sold $15,000 worth of data, it took you 4 months to make that sale.
Yep.
It's very unpredictable. It's a bad business. You might be feast and famine forever. You want to be able to grow incrementally. So another reason to go this direction is having people ask for data over and over. Everyone asks for really different requests. But if you can have people ask for one particular thing, which is just job change data, no matter what they want, you only have to build your system, program, product, whatever it is, to deliver one thing very, very well. And that's the other thing about startups is over the last 2 years, we've built about 7 different products. But when you see the best startups succeed and grow, they're just doing one thing incredibly well. And so this is the one thing we're going to do incredibly well. We've doubled down on it for the last 3 months, and that's what we're going to move forward with. So I'm just going to share my screen again and kind of show, this is the landing page, or this is
Ooh, so
the page
pretty.
that we've made where you can actually request data. So just going over some of the strategies in here, there's not that many words on it, but you have sample that you can download, because most people ask, the biggest question is, what's your product look like? And when you're selling leads or signals, they want to be able to see it. You have all of the filters interactive right here. The other large thing in selling what we've been selling is it's a very big back and forth of communicating what people want. So instead, you want to make it so it's as self-serve as possible. If you're selling a product for less than $1,000 a month, you can't afford to have a sales team. So you have to automate your product such that if you're selling something for $100 a month, people can get themselves most of the way there until they're ready to buy. So once you figure out what you want, then you figure out how much of it you want. We don't give them the exact numbers up front, because we'll go back and find those out in our audience. We can communicate that later after we've established intent that someone wants to buy. If they want to buy $400 worth of data, we can let them know there's $425 worth of data available. But you need to establish someone as a marketing qualified lead, a sales qualified lead. They actually have the intent to buy before you want to go have those small, minute conversations and optimizations.
So Ross, you're going deep into kind of the signals and kind of the filters on the page. Can you talk a little bit more about like why job changes, why this signal in particular, why it's important for people in the B2B space?
Sure. That's actually what I was going to talk to right after this. I was just going to say, so we have this page where you can ask for stuff. Then I made a whole video script. It's a 3-minute video on why job changes. And we actually took a ClickFunnels landing page where he has a 10-minute video explaining something in immense detail. And we copied the style of the landing page, we made it, and I made this video. And I won't make you read all of this, but just so you don't read it while
Give
I'm
us a little
saying it.
taste. Give us a little taste.
Yeah, so I've said this so many times, I've kind of memorized the beginning, but
Good.
there's a time in everyone's career where they hear and they believe that if you get the right leads and you tell them about your product, it'll be easy to hand them off to a sales team who will understand what they're trying to accomplish and close them. But we quickly realize this isn't the case. Most times when you tell someone, they're either not the person that's going to benefit from your product, or they don't have the authority to actually buy your product. So you have to find them at the right time where they're both going to benefit and they have the authority. So just paraphrasing from that script, job changes are the perfect time to reach out to someone, because when a company wants to make change, they hire an outside entity. That's why agencies exist, so that a company can experiment with new ideas outside of the legacy technology, the corporate culture, the unspoken rules that everyone working at that company has instilled over the last 5-10 years. They hire a new entity who doesn't know that they're breaking a rule or trying something that would upset Jim and his entire team. And so just like that, a new hire is kind of like an agency where they come in, and for the first 3 months, they don't know what the rules are. They don't know what the expectations are of that company. All they know is that after 2 or 3 months, someone's going to come to them and say, like, justify the reason that you're here, that this was a good hire, because either you're going to fly or die by if you're bringing this company more money than you're costing us, then you're a revenue center. If you're costing us money, then you're $1 million mistake and we need to move on.
Right. Yeah.
And so,
Generally when you get hired in a corporation, you have 90 days to accelerate or have real impact in your role and in your position. Like the more executive the role, the more time frame. Like a CFO, they might give you like a year to have like a real impact. But in terms of mid-level VPs, directors, you got 90 days. You have to get one or two campaigns. In politics, it's like the first 100 days. It's a common thing. You can really see how this person's going to affect the organization, and you can't really say no to any campaign or organizational change that somebody wants to do within a reasonable scope within the first 90 days. So if they want to try a new lead service, or if they want to try a new innovation campaign, or if they want to try video marketing versus email marketing. So we're talking in the marketing space right now because it's Masters of Marketing. If you wanted to hire an expert, you have about 90 days to show some sort of proof, quantifiable proof that you're creating impact.
Right. I've experienced this in my own job where I worked at a design agency, and they allowed me to research HubSpot and a bunch of other stuff to buy to be more efficient. I have a friend who just joined a new company, and we talked to him 3 months after he joined, and he said that he was allowed to spend $30,000 on sales experiments in the first 3 months, which is just a gold mine for anyone who's trying to sell in a huge sales product. So yeah, in that original time, you're allowed to experiment, and then it works or it doesn't work. But you have both the authority to buy the product because people won't say no. You have the desire to make yourself look good because that's your job and you want to accomplish something. And then also, like Bryan, you were saying about the VPs and the CMOs. When you target people for job changes, I would say you target mid-range people,
Right.
because the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, they're hired to bring their team with them. They're not hired to show up at a company and say, I'm one person. I think I'm going to run this playbook with a bunch of people I don't know, and we can sell your product. No, they're usually like, cool, I'm this one person who's built a distributed team around the world of 20 people who are going to take your $1 million product. You're going to put $1 million into it. We're going to send $10 million worth of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the mid-range people, the VPs, the people that are just getting to positions of authority, when they change jobs, they might just be a single person. So they're looking for some tools that will augment themselves rather than outsource their work. And so that's where I see job changing having the best effect.
Okay, let's not mention our client's name, but let's talk about the customer success thing.
Yeah. So the reason that we kind of tipped over the edge of making this is we had a client come to us who we've been serving for 4+ years.
Yeah.
And they said, we know we have I mean, they've never really said this, but they said, we know we've had our entire addressable market. There's really no one else you can get for us. So we want to double down and land and expand in all of the companies that we're in. So here's our list of 600 clients. Here's our list of all of the partners and stuff we have. And we want you to monitor over 600 companies for everyone that joins certain departments in those companies forever, so that we can determine the new relationships we need to build at those companies, the new people we need to track. Yeah, to just basically say, if we're already selling in their marketing department,
Mm-hmm.
if someone joins in their sales department, that's a perfect job change opportunity to say, hey, like, congratulations on joining XYZ company. You should talk to your marketing department. They have a great tool that'd be good for you too.
Yeah,
And then you can expand throughout.
there was three categories. It was new entrants to the company. It was champions leaving the companies so they could follow them to the next job. Oh man, what was the third one? There was new entrants. It was champion. Oh, and expanding. That was the third one. Expanding relationships with other cross-organizational relationships. So let's say they're at big company like, I don't know, Deloitte, right? And they're serving Deloitte. Well, once they start serving Deloitte, they can expand across organizationally to similar people throughout different organizations within Deloitte. It's like a 50,000 person company. And that's how you like land and expand. You can then ask for a reference or say, hey, we're already on your accounts payable, and we've already done purchase orders. We know how to work with you. We're a qualified vendor. And so you can expand your contracts through clients that you already know. And what's interesting, to put on this on a different way, throughout my career, I've mostly been like helping startup founders and startup people within marketing, within development, within growth. And that too is some other impact of a job change, right? So when you're going to a startup and you're working at a startup, that the CEO is the person that you go to when they're like 10 people and below. They make all the decisions, and that's the only person that you need to convince. And what's interesting about that is kind of inherently a job change in and of itself. as they're kind of making their organization, they tend to have lots of money. Well, they don't tend to not have like lots of money, but they have experimental budgets that they can test, right? And so as you go up the stack into mid-level companies and enterprise companies, I find that they experiment less and less. And so you have to kind of like more fine tune your product as you and have a bunch of like marketing soil and organic traffic. We'll get into that
Gotcha.
in a
As
minute.
we're
Yeah.
talking about that and what you can do with job changes,
Yeah.
I'm just going to double back on how to sell what we're selling and some of the
Okay.
unique stuff that we're getting out of that. So I'm going to share my screen again. Du-du-du-du-du, and just show you that website again. And there's a feature on here that I think is a very interesting conversation. And that feature is the ability to select different things and then share what you've selected, which makes a link that you can go to that already has pre-filled all of the things that you said you wanted previously. So it already has them pre-filled. And I think this is really like the most powerful thing we've built so far for this marketing campaign because of how people buy. We sent out a bunch of cold email campaigns to people with job changes. And while it was really effective in getting people to open the email, they need a little bit more push to actually buy something from us.
Ross, do I see there an 81% open rate?
You do, for multiple emails. You see 5 emails in a row: 81, 73, 44, 48. This isn't a complete campaign, it's still running. But we've basically figured out, oh, that's all. Oh, you see all of our subject lines. Like, we've basically figured out the subject lines that get people who have just changed a job to open your email. And we've stacked them one after the other, and we get people reading our emails, and we get great open rates. I don't know what the call to actions on all of these were, but the click-through rates we need to get up.
Yeah.
And so we're working on improving the language inside it so that it aligns with exactly what goals they're trying to accomplish, or what they think the email is going to be about. But also, alongside sending this email campaign, we are starting conversations with people, or even in this email campaign, starting conversations with people. And instead of just pointing them directly to a landing page and saying, cool, I've been talking to you for 5 emails, 2 weeks, go to this landing page and tell me what you want, you can show that you already understand what they want by sending them a link that is, hey, is this what you're looking for? Like, I've been listening and I know exactly what you want. Now I'm going to make it super simple for you to basically just click, yes, give me $500 worth of that. Done.
Yeah.
Buy.
Yeah, I think what's really clear on this is that the way that the selling data generally works is there's a conversation like, hey, what have you done in the past? There's some reference checks, blah, blah, blah. Usually we get information through referral. Then we do in a kind of consultative approach where we're talking back and forth about what is your total addressable market, what's your ideal client profile and persona, and really kind of like filtering that down. Now, the filters that we're starting with are kind of generic, to be honest, but we're working on another. I've been working on like the last week on squashing and munging about was about 4.9 million company lines, and so now we have things like that we're going to be adding to this filtration set, like raised money in the last year or even in the last 90 days, has had investment before. So things that are kind of like investment related, things that are like employee count related, employee growth scores. So how many Twitter followers somebody has, how many Facebook likes somebody has, what technographics. We're going to be adding all of these types of filters into there so we can really fine tune. And this has all come from different requests that we've got from a very consultative nature. What one time somebody was like, give me every VP of marketing at every company that uses email marketing automation. So think Eloqua, HubSpot, Marketo, Pardot, right? So we were able to use crawlers and scrapers to scan the entire internet to find like 50,000 people or 50,000 companies that use HubSpot. And then in turn, we will then be putting those filters in, those technographic filters in at a later date as those requests come in. And so that's something I'm really excited about in the future.
Perfect. I just want to say we have 7 minutes left. There are people. If
Oh,
anyone wants
wow.
to ask any questions, feel free. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking about our deeper strategy.
Let's talk audiences until we got questions.
Cool.
So what audiences are we going after and why?
We are going. Do you want me to just list them off
Sure.
or go one by one? So we're going after marketing operations managers,
Yeah.
demand generation, CROs, uh,
Growth.
growth marketers,
Yeah.
um, maybe product marketing, and there was two others. I can't remember them.
Customer success. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're going after marketing operations managers. Why are we going after those? We're
Yeah.
going after them because we've worked with a lot of them and kind of built out a persona of what they're trying to accomplish. And really what they're trying to accomplish, the ones that work with us, is every month they're coming back going, here's a new idea, a new campaign. We used up all the leads from last time. We gave them to our sales team. They're asking me for more. I came up with this brilliant idea. Let's get XYZ audience and make sure that the sales team has enough pipeline for this month so that they don't come nag me again. And you're like, great. So they're coming to us going, cool, can we start this campaign that because 5% of the market usually changes jobs every single month, I can just start this one campaign and alleviate a large portion of the amount of leads that I need every single month.
I think that's such a key factor, right, on why we decided to build it. It's consistently 5% of your total addressable market is changing their job every single month. Now, maybe like COVID times, it's a little bit different, but we're planning for like the long term here. And like just in general, things are moving to more API driven, not CSV data, static data driven. And we will be building out APIs, and we will be building out things where you can make it more real time in the future.
Cool. Okay. Demand generation. Do you want to talk about why we're going after demand generation?
I'd rather talk about marketing operations because I think that's like so three different clients of ours we've kind of been, maybe we sold to the CEO or head of marketing or CRO, but then we pretty much get pushed to the marketing operations. Sometimes they're called like sales operations, and essentially what they do is they're kind of like the air traffic controller between marketing and sales at a predictable revenue style companies, meaning that you have a sales team, you have marketing that supposed to be generating marketing qualified leads. If they can't generate enough marketing qualified leads, they need to then basically supplement with something that's within their total addressable market that the sales team isn't going to get super pissed off about, because the sales people are like, where are the good leads? It's like Glenn Grocery, Glenn Ross or whatever is like, I need the good leads. These leads are crap. And so they're always complaining to marketing, like, where's my good leads? And marketing's like, here's what we got for you. So this is a way that marketing consistently, monthly provide good leads to the sales team, and seeing the 5% or 1/20th of their audience churn, either going to new companies or coming into their total addressable market every single month. So let's say you had 200,000 people in your total addressable market, right? 10% is 20,000. So you have 10,000 fresh new leads every single month of job changes. And that's what I'm really excited about. And, from my working in the past with people, that should support about 500 fresh leads per month per salesperson. So that should supply about a 20-person sales team.
Gotcha. Do you want to keep talking about this, or with 3 minutes left, can I talk about Masters of Marketing, why we're doing
Oh, we have a
all of that?
question. What
Oh, we
about
do.
branding and strategy? Folks that started as an admin mailroom clerk but have no idea how growth hacking works, but somehow landed a job they're not likely capable of doing. So branding, and in my opinion, is really, it's weird times. We're going to be the cult of the person in our branding strategy. It's going to be about Ross. It's going to be about me. It's going to be doing Masters of Marketing. It's going to be Ross going on podcasts. I'm going to go on podcasts talking about what we're doing, because it's about a person. I think you really lose something when you start to abstract the person and the values and place it on a brand. While we're small, it's going to be about me and Ross, right? It's going to be about the people. When you start to, it, a brand abstraction is difficult because you have to produce so much content and so much good emotion and so much good value from a brand. It's just much easier for us to have personal relationships with people and have people to like us. Ross is very likable. I'm a little less likable, but I think I have some cool stuff to say. And we'll be doing like data dumps and prizes and to keep people engaged with our brand, which is me and Ross. And then we build our brands, which will then build the company brands, and people will follow us, I
Right.
think.
So I didn't read the question, but were they asking about our branding strategy or them using a branding strategy as opposed to using a job change strategy? And if they're asking about, what if I should use a branding strategy instead of leads because I might not be capable of this? Is that the question, and is that completely different?
Was asking about targeting. So I think, why, what is our brand? Uh, Based on experience, we have to get approval for sending some of our clients, but we have one client that we've been fulfilling leads for the last 4 years, 5 years. And, we were supplying lists 5 years ago, 1,000 at a time, and then it grew to 10,000 at a time. And last year we provided like over 1 million leads to them in 1 million emails. And they last year they raised, or was it this year or last year, they raised $40 million. So it works, right? So our branding is success stories and case studies of people that we helped in the past, and that's our strategy around there. We got to make a bunch of content. We have to make content about masters of marketing. We're going to turn every single one of our masters of marketing into an article, and then we'll slowly like do offers and kind of like upsells in our masters of marketing to Rocket Signals to help.
I'm just going to, so great. I'm just going to quickly go back to that other question. So what about a branding and strategy person who has a job in growth that may not be capable of it? That was the question. How do they use this strategy? So to them, I would say, if you have this consistent stream of job change leads, then you only need to be able to figure out what the psychology of those people is, the anthropology of those people are, and what exactly they want when they change their job. Which, instead of someone landing a job as a marketing person and needing 5 different campaigns, this is good because you can do one campaign. As far as the strategies to stack on top of that for growth, one, I'd get an email automation software, and this can be Mailshake, Vision Mail, Mixmax, one of those. And I would start talking with your people. So I worked at a design agency, and the first thing I would do is call up some of the current customers of the client or figure out who they are and just call them on the phone. And don't even act like you want to sell anything. Just be like, hey, I'm this naive person. I'm switching careers. I would love to learn how you got to where you are in your career, what you really care about, what motivates you. And then if you are sincerely actually just wanting to learn, you can usually, one, make friends with those people, and two, get the exact words of what they care about to put into those email campaigns, and then iterate through improving those email campaigns. I'd also augment it by reaching out to people on LinkedIn, starting conversations there, and even calling them on the phone possibly. So the strategy is just who to reach out to, but the marketing strategies that you layer on top of that as someone who's new to a growth position are, there's tons of growth strategies you can do there, but I would just start by email, call, LinkedIn, reach out to everyone and figure out what they care about.
Cool. So we're starting with 4 clients that have already requested this. And we are looking for people to use this product and test it and beta tested and we'll give like deep discounts to anybody who mentions Masters of Marketing on it. And I think we're out of time. And like Taylor, great idea on targeting branding people, product marketing and branding people. We should do that as well.
Don't cut it yet. So a question also came in, like, there's bullshit artists out there who say a bunch of stuff and and you shouldn't believe them. Like, how can we build a relationship with people so they believe us? I literally just showed you the exact campaign we're running. That's one thing. It's like, none of that was made up. The second thing is, through Masters of Marketing, we're going out into the marketing community and finding the best person at this and that. And we just interviewed someone about agile and about SEO and stuff. And we are interviewing those people at reputable companies and making friendships with them, and on camera showing, hey, we know our stuff. We can hold an intelligent conversation and ask good questions of these other well-known individuals. So we are both building our own reputations and also working to build off of the reputations of others, because data is or leads are at some point a commodity that a lot of people can supply. So where we stand above the rest is showing our experience, our charisma, our connections, and the fact that we're capable of building more on top of this to provide further value in the future.